Hey, how are we doing today, guys? It's Josh from the After Workshop here. What we're going to do today is we are going to install the new Felder Extractor, which is the AF16 model. This thing is a beast and I'm dying to get it installed. So I've still got to run all the electrical and everything for it, but I need to get all of the ducting cut. So thought we'd give it a go. I'm trying to do a few different videos because there seems to be a fair gap between like what they do in the States, what people do over here, and a lot of what people do over here is like smaller, like out their shed. And obviously in the States everybody's got huge shops, but for those who have bigger shops or like semi-pro, in the UK there's nothing really that sort of hits that mid-ground. So if you like the videos, please let me know, drop us a comment, give us a like, hit the subscribe button and all that sort of rubbish, and cool, we'll get cracking. Right, yeah, so this is where we're at, right? If you all didn't see the last video of me putting this together, by all means go and check that out, and I'll try and remember to stick a card up in the top corner. So go watch that one, come back and watch this one. So this is where we're at. So we've got this 6-inch spiraled steel ducting that goes up and around. We've obviously got the unit here. We've got this big drum sander which weighs an absolute ton. I've got to try and move on my own. All this crap to clear out. The main problem we've got is the sockets are here. So yeah, I mean that's the main issue. If they were like over there, so maybe I need to move them over a tiny bit. We'll get the spark, double check them when he comes in. But I think first thing is move all this stuff out, disconnect all this. We're going to drag this unit over to here, try and figure out where this is going to go, and yeah, and then figure out where I need to start cutting. I've got another blast gate that needs to go in. I want the blast gate to go in above this sanding section, so if the unit's here, like the extractor's here, it will come in and it's just got pressure. I'll put a vacuum into this section of tube, so hopefully we'll get a better pull on it. But the motor on this thing's huge, so we should be good. I think it's a 3 horsepower one. Ideally I'd like more like 5 or 6, but I haven't got 3-phase, so what'll be will be. But yeah, cool. Right then, I shall start moving everything around and we'll have a look. Okay, so there we go, so that's out. That took 2 minutes. So I've not taken the brackets off because I might still use them. I just need to try and figure out what I'm doing here. It's a bit of a difficult one. I know it looks simple, but it's not just about where you place it, it's about how your workflow goes. So obviously we have a bunch of stuff that we chuck through here like at least once or twice a week, and at the moment, just recently, it's been daily. So we do a bunch of work over here, it gets cut on the table saw behind me, it then comes over here, gets stacked on here, it then goes through the sander, the router and the drum sander, goes back on the table, hand finishes over here, and it's done, ready to go out. So it's quite nice having this close to this, because then you can pile all your bits and pieces up ready to chuck through. If I move this over here, that's then going to stop that, or you'll be walking backwards and forwards, which will become a bit of an ache after a while. If I move this way, it's then going to create a problem where it's not going to have too much of a gap here, which is kind of difficult. And at the moment the table for this is higher than the table for this, so if I move it this way and further against the wall, then that's going to create a problem there. And I've also got the drop down here, sweep up point. We're going to take that out, I think, because that's not needed. So what would you do? Would you move it left? Would you move it right? Is it more important to be closer to your workflow? Is it more important to give you more space to walk past it? What do you reckon? Tell you what, write in the comments, see what you think that you would do, let me know, and I guess I'll figure this out and crack on with it, eh? Right, okay, so I had a think. I think what we're going to do, this is going to come out because we don't use it. This is going to need rebuilding, this stand needs rebuilding anyway. These are going to move over. They're going to be plugged in over here. This is going to move closer to that. It's got a super long, like 3 meter lead, so that's going to be plugged in over here. We'll tack that against the wall. This is going to move this way, the bench might have to come this way a little bit, then the extractor is going to sit here, and we're going to hope we have enough 4-inch steel pipe, 2 or 6-inch to run from the extractor, but I don't know, I might put it on a little bit of a 45, but we'll see. We will see, but I think that's the plan.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
Right then, so I've got it secured up there. I did try with a huge like Jubilee clip that was left over from the Felder, but that didn't work. So tried to undo it, that didn't work. So you can stay there for the time being. I'll fix it in a minute. Main thing to worry about is making sure this is level and getting the downward spike level, and then I will put the bottom on and we'll move the bracket. Do you ever have jobs that you think hour, 2, and then you get into it and you think, oh, I've got to take that off, I've got to do that, I've got to do that, I've got to do that. And then you look at it, you think, I'm going to be spending the rest of the day fixing this. What are you going to do, eh? It's got to be done. We'll put a smile on our face and we'll get it done.
Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right.
Tell you what, right? I really love this Bucket Boss parachute bag. I think it's a beaut.
Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can wait.
Right, so where are we at? So I think either the choices are either we take this and we move it over, which means changing this piece and this piece. We're not like cutting them, probably swapping around, and I've effectively rebuilt the entire thing then, which I don't really want to do. So what we're going to do, I don't know if you can see this, so I've taken this piece which is spare, which is made from 245, so it's not a solid 90, so hopefully it doesn't remove, like lower the suction too much. But this is the original downpipe. What we're going to do is I'm going to trim this now, stick in a 6-inch blast gate here, trim this piece shorter. So effectively what it's going to do is it's going to come down here, hit a blast gate, then come into this section here, split off to do the extraction for these 2 holes here. Then it's going to come down 45 straight, 45 straight, and then it will go flexi pipe into the bottom of this and over, because I don't think I have enough of this fitting, of these fittings, because I'm trying to not do it on the cheap. I'm just trying not to spend money, because these are not cheap, and the places where they are cheap, the delivery is mega expensive, and it's Friday and everything takes time, and I just want it done. So I think that's the plan, I think. And then it doesn't mean that the workbench here is too far away from the drum sander, so you can still rest gear on there while you're working it. We have this workbench here, which is on casters, so what we can do is we can move that over to here when we want to sand. All that plywood is going to be shifted, so I don't think we're going to have any problems with space. What it might mean as well is we can maybe move the brush sander just over slightly. Oh, where have I gone? There we go, that's what right. So move the brush sander over slightly, and yeah, we'll see. So, if you've never used this stuff before, it's fairly simple. You just have to most of it all slots together, goes together nice and easily, slots over the top of each other, inside of each other. A couple of things to remember, when you're fitting blast gates, you have to drill them out. I drill them and then I put a screw in there. You've got to be careful you use the right size drill bit, because otherwise the screw will go in and it will snap, because these are like cast alley, I think. And then what do we need to do? Oh, and the best way to cut this, I've found, is not with snips, because all it does is it peels and it's a right mess, is either use a sawzall, or what I like to do is I will drill it out quickly with a sharp, like maybe a 10mm bit or 12mm bit, and then I will run around it with the jigsaw and a metal cutting blade. Makes life so much easier. If you notice, there's lots of head scratching and lots of and ahhing, because the difficulty when you're doing a project like this is I'm not building it from scratch, right? So I'm trying to make it work with the stuff that I have, and it's always better to measure twice and cut once, because when you try and rush a project like this, when you don't necessarily have a plan, well, you've got a plan but you don't know how it's going to fit together and work out. I've been in positions before where I've cut first and it leads to a bit of headache. So yeah, right, we'll measure this out, then we'll make sure that we've got a little bit of this spiral ducting on this side for this to slot into, and so I think we'll probably get a marker, mark it along here, measure that out from the top, mark it round, drill it, jigsaw it, job's good. Well, for that part anyway.
Every day you're making me better, 'cause a love like this is rare, and I wanna take you there.
Make sure to wear some ear defenders, because this is horrendously loud.
I would give it all away to do it all again. Make our love a story that would never end. Never thought I'd feel so alive, looking in your eyes. I just wanna love you.
Do you know what, right? I genuinely love these little Parkside tools. I know it's not like a proper tool, right? I mean, it's a proper tool. I cut through some steel ducting with it, but I think this was like 30 quid with a battery and a charger, maybe 40. Batteries are a tenner, right? I don't need a £400 jigsaw, because I only use it for rubbish jobs like this. I've got bench tools for everything else. And when you're just ripping timber down, you don't want anything mega nice. Not just like scrapping about and stuff like that. And these Parkside tools, I got a bunch of them. I got this, I got the Sawzall, I got the multi-tool, and for the price, for the amount that you're using, mad, really, genuinely love them. Alright, let's see. So, go on there, go in there. So I'm going to mark where I previously drilled them out, just so I'll have to do it again.
Oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever. Every day you're making me better, 'cause a love like this is rare, and I wanna take you there.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw that, you know, that whole conversation I had about measuring twice and cutting once. Well, I measured about 5 times, cut once, and still got it wrong. So what happened is this like sort of like a Y section, I had it up the wrong way. And when you're doing your ducting, you want 45s instead of 90s, and you want the least resistance possible. So you don't want it to go up and then back down again. You want it to do a nice like U shape or a nice loop for this section that I'm doing now anyway. So we just had to take that and swap that around. But you can see we swapped it around, so it's going to come up through here, down and around and into the bottom of the extractor. So that should work. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how the bottom how we're going to fit it into the bottom of the extractor. Because I do have a 90, but obviously you don't want to use 90s. But I don't have any more 45s. I do have some more 6-inch pipe, so I could run some across, and I've got a short section of flexi, so maybe that could be like a 245. So this is how, ideally, this is, I guess really you want a longer piece here, but so you go 45 into a straight section, into a 45, and then out, because as opposed to like this, it gives it just that extra. This little flat piece makes the suction just that little bit better. So I'm told. I'm not an expert. I have done these a few times. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll run it down with this. Maybe I need to extend this piece out a little bit. It needs to be about this long, I think. Down, and then we'll do that. And then run a 6-inch piece across. We'll create a bracket over here, and then flexi pipe it into the bottom of this. I reckon.
When your life's been put on hold for far too long, when the sorrow and despair is growing strong, there is always something good to be obtained from breaking loose and leaving.
Jobs are good in. So, get all these joints screwed together. Oh, and if you're wondering, you're supposed to use these like well, I was always told you're supposed to use like self-tapping screws with the little pan heads. That was the best, well that's what we were told when we were like, we had a job a long time ago now, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and instead of using 2x4s for the stud work, it was all metal track work. So, and that's what we were always told to use. But I haven't got any of these, I forgot to pick some up. So we're going to use little number 8 by 3/4 wood screws. Seems to work, as long as they don't snap.
And you feel like nothing's waiting.
It is always worth noting, if you're doing this, and you're setting it up on the bench, try and make sure that wherever you put your screws in, you're going to be able to get access to them when it's up on the wall, because if you need to take a piece off, man, that sucks, but you're going to have to take everything out. And ideally you should have 3 fixings in a triangle, but it's not always going to work well for us, so it's going to be bracketed to the wall. It's not, so this will do. We'll see. If it doesn't, I'll put more in. It's that simple, isn't it? I do remember what I was going to say. If you're going to do this and you've not got particularly rough hands, like maybe not got proper workman's hands or workwoman's hands, whatever you want, wear gloves, because these bits here, like these bits of steel, I don't know if you can see that, man, you get one of those inside your hand and it sucks. I should probably be wearing gloves, but we'll crack on.
All you really need to do is search within.
Right then, shall we have a look? So, let's have a think about what we've done. This is going to be moved, so we won't worry about that. I think what's going to happen with this is, I think what I really need to do is build a proper router table. I was using this old lumberjack frame. You want a nice router table, go and have a look at the lumberjack. It's awesome, they have like a little motor with it and everything. And the lift, really, really good. So I think what we'll do is we'll maybe combine these into one unit or something, move this one over slightly, move this bit over slightly, because we need to have enough room on the outside of the router table. We can always pull it forward, I guess. This will be moved, this will probably go over here, over there next to the brush sander, because it doesn't really need to be over here, to be fair. It's a bit better to have a bit of space. So anyway, so we've removed the down pipe in the 90 degree and the blast gate that was here, so we've just got the 6 down to the 4, which will run, because both of these are on 62, 63 mil, I think they are. So then we've got to remove that Jubilee clip up there. So then we've come down, we've shortened all of this. We've popped it into a blast gate. So I've got a blast gate here. I did take that off and sort it out because I'm too much of a perfectionist really. I can't handle that. That just wind me up every time I saw it. So it's all nice and square. So it drops down, comes into this Y, comes up and over. We'll have two flexi 4-inch pipes that are going to go to 1, 2. That should give us enough suction for that. Because what we can do then is we can shut this blast gate and that sections off that whole unit. This is all sealed up correctly, and we've gone down into a 45 straight 45. This gives a bit more of an easy curve. We've gone across there, and we've gone into a flexi pipe into the bottom there. The flexi pipe didn't want to fit around the bottom end, so as a bit of a hack, what you do is you cut the copper in a couple of spots, and then that way it'll stretch a little bit better. And we're just going to get, I've got to get a 6-inch Jubilee clip to fit on that. All the joints have got to be taped, and then this has all got to be fixed and made nicer, because right now it's not the best. So we'll sort that out as well. I'll make a bunch of new brackets. We'll put a bracket here, I'll have a bracket here, like a C bracket, a C bracket, and then a C bracket down here. And yeah, so we'll get all that done, and then I'll chuck up on the video right up at the end just to show you. We'll chuck a picture up on the video right at the end just to show you it's all sorted and squared away once we've done all the taping and everything.
There's one way to walk this earth if you plan to come out alive. One step at a time with your head held high. So when you